We do. I need to get gear. All right, we are live. All right, everybody, welcome to the Commercial Real Estate Morning News Show. And I have my guest with me, which is so awesome. Thank you for saving me, because if I had to do this myself, it would be awful. All right, let me have you. I don't know. I'm on my phone, y'all, because my laptop got left at Southwest Airlines. So I'll fix myself. And so, Deanie, you go ahead, introduce yourself to the folks in the world.
Taylor, CEO at Landmark Healthcare Properties. We developed outpatient medical buildings all over the country. Glad to be here.
Glad to see you.
Are we in human roulette here?
We are. Sorry, my
People are disappearing.
I was just... Go, Howie, go.
Oh, hey, Howard Berry, Avison Young, I run the data center platform for Avison Young and all things data center real estate. Glad to be here.
Sir, and Emil, how are you, buddy?
It could be better. I've broken my finger during skiing. During skiing with my daughter. Actually, I've started to learn skiing with her, so we are on the same level. She's 6 years old. That's the difference.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit older. I'm working in real estate in Europe, Central Eastern Europe, in Poland, Warsaw. So I'm still running very, very tough and difficult residential, commercial, mixed-use project, but I'm closer to the final stage.
Very cool. I bumped into somebody who knows you, Emil. Really hilarious. Like, I was talking to somebody else from Poland, and you know, we're a big city, but they knew you. And don't ask me their name. It's I'll butcher it. It's like an M something. But anyway, but
and what? Because it's something cut your voice for a sec.
Oh yeah, I was just saying that I bumped into somebody who knows you. You're famous, so it was kind of funny. I was talking,
and it's 2.5 million people city after Ukrainian came.
I know.
It's around 3.5 maybe.
Yeah, exactly. They still know. That's very cool. All right, let's get this party started.
Yes.
So we're going to talk a little bit about. We're not going to. Well, I can't escape politics, but we'll get there eventually. But there's this story out there today talking about the exurbs. Do you know what that is, Deanie? Does anyone know what the exurbs are? So it's not the suburbs, it's the exurbs.
So something which
Where's
is
that?
inner.
So the exurbs are where the highest population growth is happening in the US. So it's not the suburbs, which is close to downtown, but it's 40 to 60 miles out away from a city center. That's where the highest population growth has been in 2023 and the first part of 2024. So they were looking at this, and I'm like, well, obviously this happened from COVID. I thought this phenomenon would have stopped happening, but it hasn't. So people are getting out in the sticks a little bit away from the cities. And so my thought was, is that where y'all are focusing, Deanie, as far as putting your medical offices? Is that a thing for y'all?
Definitely. Yeah. And I think the extension from COVID is people are able to work from those areas in their home more days a week than traveling to wherever a main office is or something. So it supports that idea of farther away from city center to have a home, but definitely. And with technology, unless you're really sick, need a transplant or heart surgery, you really can do most of the things in an outpatient medical building now. And physicians also live in those exurbs. And so everybody likes those buildings out there.
Okay. So are all the ones being out, are those like the newer buildings basically?
Yeah. That ends up being new development because there wasn't development there before, obviously. And it's an alternative to building more hospitals, which we don't need more beds.
Okay, so pretty much, so are you saying, so pretty much, is it like 90% of the care you can get done now at a medical office, or is it something less than that, you think?
I'll use the 80-20 rule. I would say 80% of the healthcare that is reimbursed is outpatient oriented. So
Okay.
it can be done in those type buildings. When you look at outpatient versus inpatient and the growth of the outpatient volume, it can be done in the type buildings we're talking about.
Interesting. So then for a community that say, let me think. So a lot of these communities are already existing. They're just growing like crazy.
Right.
So if I was going to use Austin, Texas, San Marcos, Texas, which is in between Austin and kind of San Antonio-ish. It's about
Right.
40 miles away. It is growing like crazy. And there is an example here. And they are, yeah, so building up the infrastructure in those cities is really kind of interesting because they don't really have it, right? And so the retail's coming and the medical is coming, and they already had a university there by accident, but even anything around or anything out and around Austin, if I'm just going to use that as an example. So if we go east, like towards Elgin or McDade, they are starting to get more medical offices and more infrastructure. So it's interesting. So so for a community that doesn't have a medical, like their medical desert, what attracts you to a community like that? Like, was it just population growth?
Well, it's population growth, but it's also a health system that is located centrally somewhere, wants to grow market share, and they are really the sponsor of who goes in that building, and they're employed physicians and all of that. So if you're talking about Austin, it may be Seton, it could be any of those who identify that market as a growth market. They want to take their doctors out there. Maybe the doctors are moving in that direction, and so they become the tenants in the building primarily. So it's driven by the hospital wanting to expand without building a hospital.
Oh, interesting. Okay. All right. That makes sense. So they have all the staff. They don't have to worry about.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. All right. Yeah. And
okay.
And the truth is, in the providers, nurses, doctors, they'd much prefer to be in an outpatient setting than working in an inpatient hospital many times. Hours are better, no weekends, that kind of thing.
Interesting. That's very cool. So what happens with, so we're going to get back to technology a little bit. Does it cause burdens on technologies for the medical? I mean, so now you're going to have more and more locations, more and more dispersed things. I'm just, do hospitals have data centers? I'm just curious.
Yes, they do. Howard, you can talk to this. If they're a health system, for example, Ascension has a data center located somewhere so that they can back up all of the data from all their hospitals. And many times they may have a couple of them, backup and triple backup or whatever they call it. So yes, now a single hospital may participate in other hospitals' data center and stuff, but the big systems have data centers, sure.
Interesting. So
right, Howard? I assume I'm.
Well, everybody, yeah, medical records are really important and they're you got to protect them. There's a lot of rules around how data. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I didn't know if my headset was working. Thanks.
Yeah.
If there's a lot of rules around how that data is moved, managed, and shared, so it's highly protected. But yeah, absolutely. Or they're even a little bit more difficult without getting too nerdy. When it goes into the cloud, they've got a lot of rules around how that data moves through.
Well, so that was one of the articles in The Economist that I was going to talk about, and that's why this is cool, because it was talking about how there's a prevalence towards going to the cloud, but some people are bringing that back in house. And so in the medical side, is it all in house? Like, do you manage their own data centers, or are they doing stuff in the cloud? They're just putting tight control.
In the medical side, they're doing stuff in the cloud, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. They are? Oh.
Yeah, they are. It does have its complexities, but from what I've seen, owning and managing is a lot more secure.
Yeah.
But it's in both.
It's in both.
It's everywhere.
Just think is it because, I just think as a company, there's that conversation around Who's got control of your data, and is it Microsoft or Google or
Well,
AWS?
next call, I'll tell you, Deanie, I'll be prepared. I'll tell you where that data is going and what's going on there. I'll do my homework and have that ready for you.
I just figured data centers are data centers. I thought you'd know.
It is so complex, Deanie. I wish I knew. Yeah.
Very cool.
I wish it was easy as plugging in an extension cord.
Yeah, I know, right? Wouldn't that be nice if it was that easy?
Yeah.
Oh, since you're talking, Howie, let's move over to, you went to a cool dinner last night. What was that all about? Yeah, what was that?
Yeah, I drove up to San Francisco, which is 40 miles from where I live in Los Gatos. And I drove up to San Francisco, went to a dinner with 40 people in the data center industry, IT operations, you name it. It was sponsored by Mongo and Google Cloud. And it was a dinner just talking about digging into running generative AI services with their data. And it was really interesting because I think the consensus was from companies like Pepsi, gosh, who else was there? Walmart was there, and they talked about how the AI system is evolving. It's still training, it's learning. We're all adopting it still, and it's so new to everybody but everybody knows they need to use it.
Interesting. I think that's everybody. Yeah. Everybody's feeling like they're like. It's so new, and there's people that are early adopters usually, right? And so those people are learning how to do those things. But that's interesting. So the folks that were there, were they what kind of companies were there? I'm just curious.
Let's see. There's everybody. You name it. You name the companies.
Microsoft was there. Was Microsoft there?
Not Microsoft. There was a lot of more tech companies that maybe you never heard of that run other platforms where, like authentication, when you try to sign into something, that their company sends you your phone number for authentication. There's a bunch of underlying pieces that operate within, when our operations of, digital protection and access to your whatever protected sites you have. A lot of different companies you probably never heard of.
So is there talk around the whole, because a lot of the, obviously NVIDIA's new chips are helping on the GPUs are helping on the AI side, but is there any talk around quantum computing and as we're getting closer and closer to that, and what that's that's way too far?
No, I think that's so complicated. Nobody wants to do that. They're just getting their arms around what they're doing now. AMD was there too. And they talked about their new chips that are equivalent, they say, to NVIDIA's chips. So they're really pushing their product as well.
Yeah, for sure. I bet it'll be interesting to see what happens. I know that there is some that there's new server racks being built and new different things that people are touting, and as they fly as fast as they can as the new chips change. I think it's kind of interesting. For sure.
Well, it was interesting because we had conversations around, think about when you're on your iPad, phone, whatever you're on, you're signed in, you're looking at, you're scrolling through, and they're learning what you like, your algorithm, the things that you're interested in. And at some point, that information is going to be monetized and sold to other companies. If you're calling into customer service and you have a complaint or something you want a refund on, that customer service is going to look up, and at some point, your data is going to be there saying, hey, this person is difficult. It's like your secret medical record, right, Deanie? They're gonna look and they're gonna go. They already know who you are as a person, and they're gonna be able to negotiate with you based on the information that's out there.
That's creepy.
And how you look at things on the internet.
That's creepy. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you have Amy's record pulled up, sent to all of us, so we kind of know what it's got out there on Amy?
Deanie, I texted to you.
Oh,
okay.
oh my God, y'all! Like, this is bad. This is so bad. Y'all don't want to go crawl up my shorts. I'm just telling you, like, and find all my, all my deep, dark secrets.
But seriously, Howard, I heard something last week at the conference in New York that just surprised me, that data centers, the future for their electrical needs is like mini nuclear plants that will be supporting a data center instead of big nuclear plants, that they really are looking at the development of small nuclear plants that will generate the electricity just for the data centers, given all the pull that they have.
That's true.
Yeah, Deanie. Yeah, small modular nuclear is the way it's going to go, and maybe in 5 years we start deploying that. But even to the fact that we're looking at sites where we could put maybe there's natural gas on site, and we could do turbines and immediately get up and going. I heard yesterday I was talking to a group that worked on the XAI, X formerly Twitter. Isn't it funny you have to say X, formerly Twitter, to understand? But XAI launched a data center in Tennessee and Memphis, Tennessee, where they have 150 megawatts and 100,000 square feet. And they wanted to get up going so fast that they actually pulled in gas turbines to get the power going to fire up that data center. And they just pulled in last week, I think, 100,000 GPUs, and that's $2.5 billion for 100,000 GPUs. And they've spent a total of $7 billion just to get that project up and going for a roughly 200 megawatts of power in a couple months, just to fire up a data center. Now it's on the grid and it's powered and going. But yeah, we're using whatever power resource we can, and eventually it's going to be, and with the best model will be the data center will self-generate electricity on site and then be an energy source back into the grid.
Right, into the grid. Yeah, that's what they were talking about.
Totally self-sufficient. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Well, quantum computing's coming faster than you think, because apparently Oak Ridge National Laboratory just added a quantum cloud service. I don't know what that's going to do. Get ready, Howie, because there's going to be more data centers needed or whatever. I don't know. I wonder why that's. Do you think that's why X went to Tennessee? Or they were just looking for land? That's what they found. Do you think?
I don't know why they chose there, other than maybe its availability and how quick they could go and deploy. It's center. It's right in the center.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because you have to worry about, obviously, your data center, you don't want to blow away because of a tornado or whatever it might be. So you have to be very
hurricanes, tornadoes, whatever. Yeah. They do not like. But they're built, their data centers are built strong, but they don't like extreme weather.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Not when you're spending $7 billion in 2 months. Yeah, you're like, let's move it somewhere safe.
Yeah. I was preparing the due diligence for a data center.
The insurance policy does it? Oh, sorry, Emil.
No. I just wanted to mention that I was doing due diligence for a data center plot next to Vistula River, and investors said, no, too close. We don't have a flutes at all in Warsaw, but still there was a risk, and they say, no. Actually, it was investor from US.
Interesting. So there's no data centers in Warsaw? That's surprising.
There are a lot.
Oh, there are a lot.
Okay. There are a lot. The charts are skyrocketing in the case of data center in Poland, especially in surrounding of Warsaw, because it's necessary to have a high voltage power supply, teletechnical connection, very, very nice. Of course, a lot of fluids, let's say lack of magnetic, like metro tube, trams, etc. So there are a lot of circumstances, and there are plots around the Warsaw where the data centers are developing with the huge successes. Actually, the invest funds are trading between each other with European data centers.
Interesting.
Assets.
Well, yeah, no, for sure.
According to Grok, there are 30 to 40 data centers in Poland.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So Emil, when you're doing mostly multifamily development, right? That's what you're focused on there. How are
Commercial and hotel. Now I'm more into the hotel development because we are pushing by the investor.
uh-huh.
The agreement was signed, so they have a tool to push me to the milestone. So I need to obtain building permit for the hotel building as soon as possible or as fast as possible.
What's a typical when you're looking at well, Warsaw is just growing like crazy. It's kind of like Toronto, which is growing also. So is it still is it still the refugees from Ukraine, or is that kind of slowed down? What's driving the growth in Poland?
Now it's let's say a smooth regression period, but
Yeah.
very light one. We are waiting what will happen in Europe in the case of, let's say, political situation. We
Yep.
had votes in French. We will have in Germany, and all satellite countries has got the impact also for us. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, refugees, it's a second factor. But combining all it together, I think that the most important is the geopolitical situation. So bankings are waiting with their offers for mortgages, and the mortgages are let's say, the biggest. It's the bigger trigger for the consumption on the residential market. Good mortgage offer, bigger demand for the residential.
Yeah, for sure. I
So
mean,
banks are waiting, and this is not only case for the residential, but also for the transaction in the commercial real estates. Now we are running one project which is very close to be sold. It will be in this area of Warsaw. It will be the first deal since 3 years. So during the whole Ukrainian war, there was no such a deal more than a $70 million value in this part of Warsaw. I'm mentioning about this because it will be kind of the benchmark for the other investors
mm-hmm.
to be, let's say, more bold, more brave for such a transaction. The money are somewhere. I believe it. Actually, I
Yeah,
know it.
it's
So
there.
that there is only necessity of the for the trigger, who will be the first one to go into the transaction, and the other one will be like snowball reaction or
Yeah.
domino.
So 3D printing is becoming really well. It's becoming more and more popular here, and so like Walmart just 3D printed a store, which is pretty cool. And we have a lot of 3D printing of well, not a lot comparatively. It's a newer thing, but in Austin, there's more and more 3D printed subdivisions. There's going to be 3D. I think the first 3D printed multifamily unit was in Germany, actually. Are y'all looking?
And now in China.
Well, there was one in Germany. It was like a quadplex, and it
Okay.
was like 6 years ago. But are y'all embracing 3D printing in
No. Now I see there is a kind of mood for the prefab solution, mostly in the hotels. Actually, I'm the person who is trying to let's say, incorporate prefabs solutions in the hotel. It's the hotel for 266 rooms,
Mhm.
and the shape of the building, let's say, the shape, the floor plan, it's very good to incorporate such a technology because there is a lot of similar rooms with similar bathrooms, etc. So not printing, but prefabricating somewhere else and putting all together on site, and it's let's say a huge save of the time on site.
Prefabrication.
Prefabrication.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We call that
prefab solution,
modular.
both for the whole rooms. Actually, I'm analyzing it only for the bathroom. So let's say 100% ready to use bathroom. It's coming from Poland, other part of Poland, totally ready, and it's being put on this place on the place in the hotel. So one
Ah,
slab,
interesting.
bathrooms, another slabs, bathrooms, and the walls all together.
Oh,
And
that's
this is
cool.
very time effective.
Yeah, and then you just hook up the plumbing, so they leave the wall exposed on the outside, and you just hook up.
Yeah, all walls, all wiring.
Yeah.
It's ready just to put it plug and play, let's say, solution.
Mhm. Interesting. That's very cool. Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
that'll.
we don't have a we are running out of the time because of this, let's say, slow down during the Ukrainian war. So now we need to accelerate. So we are looking for the solutions which allows us to accelerate the processes, construction development processes.
So when you're doing something like that, I mean, for us in the U.S., every municipality, I would venture to guess, probably does their building inspections differently. I know I did a lot of work in a lot of different municipalities.
Uh-huh.
So how are they addressing that kind of solution? How are they doing the inspections to make sure that, because it's a different type of building. It's not you don't do your plumbing rough and then your plumbing final. It's already there. So what are they inspecting? What are they looking at?
Actually, in the building permit design and building permit, let's say, document decision, I'm not specifying what kind of technology I will pick during the construction. So I have a, let's say, free. I'm free with choosing the particular options.
Mm,
So the only thing is to choose the appropriate constructor contractor, let's say contractor to specific technology. So that's it. But I'm not obliged by the law to prepare the process in a different way because I've chosen the different technology. The final product actually is the same. I cannot see that if okay, I would find maybe some specific technologies like the 3D printers in the case of materials, because 3D printer has got, let's say, mixture of materials in themselves. When I'm buying the already prepared 100% ready to use model of the bathroom, I've got the specific materials used in there, and I've got all papers documents that those materials are able to be used in Europe, in Poland, and in such a place like bathroom. So I'm, let's say, full of peace of mind that there won't be a problem. Actually, it won't be the first such a hotel in Poland and Warsaw. So I'm 100% sure about that.
yeah, that's interesting. Deanie, can you imagine building a hospital and then just you slap and plug and play
Actually, we are
that?
building hospitals in Poland with such a
Mhm.
technology,
Yeah,
prefabs technology.
yeah.
And during the war or in Ukraine, they are constructing such a hospitals on site within a few weeks, and they are able to get the patients from the war after such a quick period of time.
Right.
That's yeah.
Yeah, no, I've heard that that's in that area, they're doing them that way. And they also in China will build hospitals very,
Yeah.
very quickly in a modular way.
They've learned it during the COVID because they needed a lot of hospitals
Yes.
during the COVID.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
they started to use this technology like a crazy.
Ah, that's interesting. Yeah, to think about I mean, I don't, the places with lots of bathrooms, hospitals are one, multifamilies. It's amazing the amount of bathrooms are in a hospital. That's crazy, Tom. That's crazy. So, when you're looking at your medical office, Deanie, are y'all doing any sort of cool, you're just acquiring, are you developing too? Where do you, or on your offices, your medical
You
office?
know, medical medical buildings right now have not gone that direction. The biggest innovation we're trying to do now is just flexibility inside the four walls, within the lease space of a provider, so that it can change over time based on technology. I mean, the biggest change that's happened in medical over the last probably 15 years is paper medical records went away, which used to be a huge space taker in everybody's office. That's gone now. So that space is available for something else. That's the new buildings try to accommodate those kind of changes out into the future. We now have to worry about where patients wait and separating sick and well patients and all those kind of things that, 10 years ago was not as big a deal. So that's what's going on in medical, from talking about how to design them. And then the other is making, physicians don't get private offices anymore in a medical building. In new medical buildings, they have workspaces. Costs too much to have a nice big doctor's office where you go in and sit across from the desk and he tells you or she tells you all that's wrong with you. That day's over. You get it in the exam room real quick and the doctor goes to his workspace.
Interesting. So they're like co-working. Okay.
Right.
Interesting.
You're probably going to tell me they don't even let you smoke in there anymore.
No, they don't. And the other thing that's gone is the spouse can't design the space anymore. The spouse used to design the big offices. That's over. We don't have to worry about that anymore. They used to come in and put crazy wallpaper and crazy furniture and all kinds of stuff. That day's over.
That day's over.
How are we going to evolve? This is crazy.
So talking about design too, from the data center side, there was an article out talking about how data centers were looking like prisons, and then they're now making them, I guess because of the edge data centers that are closer into town, they're making them look nicer. So Equinix built like a 12-story data center with glass and made it all look all groovy cool. I guess from the outside, it doesn't matter what it looks like on the inside. It's just a bunch of racks, but at least they're making the facades look nice, right? So I don't know if
it's the same as a warehouse.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
I've seen actually in Singapore the data center, which was in the middle of the skyscrapers, and it looks like normal office building, and the Verizon building in New York. Also, when I was last time in New York, I've seen, well, what's the building? No windows. In the half of the building there's no windows, and the higher half has got windows. I said probably it's a data center. I checked on Wiki, and it's a Verizon headquarters with the data center on the lower level. So it's not cost effective because of the.
The windows must be just for energy, right? You don't want windows in a data center. Well, other than you don't want people breaking in, or I guess, or whatever. I don't know. But it must be from an energy perspective. But they're trying to make them look less like prisons. I don't know.
When it costs 10 million a megawatt to build a data center, they actually make the front of the buildings look really nice. And a lot of companies like QTS, you walk in, there's big marble entry, QTS in particular has an American theme with a lot of American flags. I've been to Nova Data Center. Nova Data Centers, the big marble entries, beautiful places. So they make the entry completely inviting with lobbies and conference rooms and meeting areas. So that's co-location data centers. If you're talking the cloud, they just want to put up a big old industrial building that functions as a. That's the model. They don't care. And they're like, throw it down, go. It's like a computer server, plug it in the ground, off we go, one after another. And they're doing that over and over and over again. So those don't care. But the ones where you actually have to have the customer come in, they're going to touch and feel their operate their equipment, like behind me. Those, you want places that are inviting to the customer.
Interesting.
Yeah, China Mobile built in San Jose a big data center. They can't operate because of FCC rules, and it's just sitting there vacant, and they're not allowed to operate their own data center. But there's an office building in the very front that's 4 or 5 stories tall that they operate their office out of, with an empty data center sitting behind them.
That's crazy. Why can't they operate their data center? Because we don't like the
They're a
Chinese.
Chinese-run data center company, Chinese-owned, Chinese government-owned data center, and they can't operate in the U.S.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Okay. Were they trying to support TikTok or and then no, I'm just kidding. That whole thing.
I like TikTok.
I like TikTok too.
I like TikTok.
I'm not you.
But apparently
I'm addicted. Help.
a lot of people don't like TikTok in the US because they're spying on us.
I also like cocktails sometimes. It's like, come on, what TikTok cocktails?
That's
Your
too
vices, right?
Yeah, so the only political thing I'll talk about because I think this is hilarious. And
Uh-oh.
our new president obviously likes to flamethrow a little bit and just throw out these crazy gestures or phrases and I half the time I don't know if he's doing it as a tactic or if he's doing it because he really believes it. So I haven't figured that guy out yet. But anyway, he's saying there's no climate crisis, and so I'm just and his Department of Energy pick is like an oil guy, which I'm like I don't care that like it's fine, but I just don't know what that'll mean. What is that going to mean for the data center industry if the DOE guy is an oil and gas guy? Does it matter? Do we think it's going to matter or no? No one.
Same. Everything's gonna go. ESG is important for any data center. They already look like power hogs, and they don't want that to be a part of their operation. So I don't think in the data center industry is going to be always focused on cleaner and better energy.
So, but just the U.S. government's not going to support, or probably, I think, eventually might not subsidize any sort of solar or wind, or if that's where it goes. If I don't know, if it changes or not. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see. We'll watch.
I don't think it does, but it does open the door to nuclear and more nuclear, and that's why I said I think last week that the Biden administration right at the end put out their nuclear plan for expansion by 2050 and doubling the size of our nuclear power industry. So Trump will just make it bigly bigger.
Bigly bigger. Oh, that is too funny. So
Trump, it's gonna win so bigly, folks.
Yeah, I know exactly. So
Gotta use them.
You're always traveling. So where are you in the world today? Where's Deanie today? It's like, where's Waldo? Where's Deanie? Where are you?
I'm in Milwaukee today. You know why? You know what's happening tonight?
No, what's happening?
Purdue and Marquette play in Milwaukee.
Oh, man, they are? I wish I could go to that game. All right, it's back. It's basketball season. It's on. Purdue basketball is back on. Oh, that's so funny.
Deanie, you went there just for the game?
Well, no, the corporate office is here too. It's
yeah. Good for you.
I'm in Milwaukee.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's awesome.
I'll be in Vegas tomorrow.
Yeah, see, I told you. It's like we got to follow Deanie around. He's like moving all over the place, going to all different sorts of places. That's awesome. Very cool.
Hang out with you.
I know, right? Exactly. For sure. All right. Well, we're getting close to the end of our hour. Any other news from anybody? Any other crazy news that we need to be knowing about?
Couldn't hear.
Everything good? Everything good with everyone? This is awesome. Well, I'm good with it. This has been such a fun show. I'm so glad y'all come on my show every week and we have a grand old time educating people about commercial real estate. So that's very, very cool. Parting thoughts. Any sort of parting thoughts for you? Go, Emil. What's your parting thoughts? Other than learn to ski and don't break your fingers, because that would be bad.
Oh.
No? You're good? All right, Deanie, any parting thoughts for you?
Well, now that I know we have a fan club kind of thing, you got to start something. We got to start this so that everybody on the show gets a fan.
I know. We do have a fan club. I didn't realize that until pre-text. Everybody, we also have a fan club. That'll be super awesome. And we'll use like the AI to create our profiles for our fan club.
There you go. When I'm in the grocery store, somebody may just walk up and say, "Hey, you're on Amy's show."
I know. I am telling you, that is crazy. It's so cool. It's so cool that people watch our show. It's so awesome.
No.
Yeah. All right. Any parting thoughts for you?
Me?
No.
Me
Yeah.
part-
Sorry, Howie.
Just
Yes.
that-
Yeah.
Oh.
I said Deanie. I call
think
people different names. I call people different names. Just don't listen.
I will go with it. Whatever. Whatever, call me whatever. I think there's a sense out there that everybody feels like there's a sense of everything's getting a little bit better, and there's a less of a doom and gloom. And it just kind of the feeling I'm getting out talking to people, going to dinner last night with a lot of different people, and everybody feels that there's a lot of positive opportunities and things happening, and I think that's refreshing, and I think it brings people closer together where we can actually work together instead of being separated and arguing about our political views or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's just post-election honeymoon for sure. I mean, whether you're won or lost, I think we're so glad it's over. But yeah, I mean, I think I do. I see some of that in the articles. Like people are starting to raise money. Like this year for the debt funds was like up to October 15th was like they raised half of what they raised the year before in 2023. In 2023, nothing was happening. And so, and I think now I'm starting to see more and more news about people are starting to raise capital to go do debt transactions, and which is good news, right? Because now we can transact more, we can do more things because money's starting to flow, which is good. Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think that I hear that more too with people that I talk to. That people are excited, and some of the prop tech companies are starting to raise money, which is good. I mean, that's what they need, and no, I agree. I think that's pretty awesome. It's good. I guess the motto of survive till 25 was actually really real. I don't know. We'll see. But
I like that.
yeah, survive till 25. That's what everybody's trying to do. Who knows? All right. Well, I'm just gonna end the show early. This has been fun, y'all. Thanks for coming on my show.
All right.
So
Thanks,
awesome.
Amy.
Thanks
All
for
right.
dialing in.
See you,
from
Mel. Bye,
Warsaw.
bye, Deanie.
Bye.
See you in
Bye.
Vegas.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye. We'll see you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for coming, Howie.
I'm working on it.
You're working on Of course. Well, this has been the show of the U.S. PropTech Council. And we're here every Tuesday at 9 a.m. Central. I get Howie up early. He's in the West Coast and he gets up early to join us on the show. So we will see you next Tuesday. And if you want more information about the U.S. PropTech Council, go to proptechcouncil.com. Y'all have a good one. We'll see you later.